Hi, guys, and welcome back to Self Care for Black Girls, a podcast where we relax, sip tea, and chat about bettering ourselves as black girls. I'm BB, and I'll be helping guide you to make better choices in your daily lives. Okay, so today's episode is about making friends and or how to maintain them. Um, I don't have much to say in the beginning of this, so I'm just gonna hop right into the episode. Um, so yeah. The first tip that I have for you all is to join a club or a group that interests you. This can be anything. Volleyball, a dance group, band, football. I guess that will work too. Anything that piques your interest because it's when making friends. Obviously, you all are gonna have at least one thing to talk about in common because you're both in this group or um, group or club. So when you join, if you join a group, you're positive you're gonna have at least one thing to talk about with the other person or other people. So go out and join a group or club. The next thing is to never be hesitant about making the first move. This can scare a lot of people. A lot of people aren't gonna want to walk up to, walk up to another person and be like, "Hey, and start a conversation." I know I'm one of those people. I'm not gonna walk up to you and start a conversation. So don't be afraid to be the person that steps up and says, "Hey, my name is so and so," and start talking because you never know, that person could be a lifelong friend. Um, the next tip that I have for you all is to try and go to as many social events as you can. This does not mean you have to go. I mean, if you want to go, if you want to, not because you feel obligated to. Because if you go because you feel obligated to, you're not gonna have as much fun as if you. Well, you. I'm not gonna say you're not going to. You may not have as much fun as you would if you were to go because you wanted to go. So go to parties if that's your thing. Go to football games if that's your thing. Go to club meets, like if you have a chess club, go to like the little championship or whatever it's called, like where the people are actually playing, go to those things, and you'll meet a lot of people there too, which is, it goes back to that first thing. You'll have at least one thing to talk about with the other person. So yeah, get out and move about. The next thing that I have is, before you go up and talk to someone, think of at least 5 things you could talk about. Um, to avoid like awkward silence. Um, Excuse me. It's so early for me to be recording this episode. It's still morning time when I'm recording this, so excuse my yawns. Um, what was I saying? Oh, think of 5 different things before you go up. So that, if you can think of 5 things to hold a conversation, or maybe not 5 things, maybe 3 things or 2 things that can lead to a very long conversation and possibly a friendship. You don't want to walk up to somebody and hold a quick 2 second, maybe not 2 seconds, like a 2 minute conversation, and then y'all just stand there standing next to each other in awkward silence. That's not cool. That's kind of creepy. So don't do that. You want to be able to open up, because if you can do, I say at least 5, but you could even do 3. That way you have 3 things, 3 or 5, 3 to 5. Excuse me, y'all. I'm so sorry. I should have waited before I recorded this episode. That way, if one conversation dies quickly, you have 4. You have more to fall on to, and maybe one of those conversations could lead to another topic that you had never really originally planned to talk about. So, make sure that you have multiple things to talk about, because nobody likes a dry talker, just like nobody likes a dry texter. Nobody likes somebody who doesn't have anything to talk about. So make sure you have a good list of things you could talk about. The next thing that I have is the next suggestion, like I said, is to always ask people for their social media. So social media is pretty much something that everybody is on, and is at the rate things are going is are gonna need to be on to keep up with everything in the world. So asking people for the social media, that way you, if you are meeting for, say, like a football game, and the rival team that you're playing, or it might not be a rival, just like the team that you're playing may be from a different part of of the state, then, or a country, because you never know. Um, that way, asking for the social media could be a way to keep up with them, and to keep like, if you all had a strong connection through the conversations, like I previously mentioned, then keep getting their social media is a way to build up your status, I guess your views if it's Snapchat, and to have friends that you could talk to in different parts of the state. Excuse me. Yeah. Oh, I am so sleepy. Mm. um to keep up with them, wish them a happy birthday. I guess if you all got to that part of the conversation, keep congratulate them on their achievements. Small stuff like that to let them know that they have a friend somewhere. Yeah. So the next topic I have for you all is trying to refrain from immediately picking up the phone at social events. This can, depending on the type of social event, this could be considered rude. If you're picking up the phone, like, say, if you're going to a speech, or like going to hear somebody speak, if you're on the phone listening to somebody speak, that's rude. That's just flat out rude. So it taking it out of that scenario, if it's like a party or something like that, if you're not on the phone, then that means that you're willing to meet new people. Because if I personally see you on the phone at a party, I'm gonna assume one of a few things: that A, you don't want to be there, somebody dragged you there, and you're trying to find something to do to avoid meeting people. B, there's an emergency or something. I hope that's not the case. The next thing could be, I don't know, you're texting your ride to come get you because you're ready to go, or something like that. So if you don't pick up your phone, then you seem more approachable, and people are, either you're 9 times out of 10 gonna, excuse me, oh my god, I'm so sorry, y'all. I promise y'all, I was not this sleepy when I started recording. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't this sleepy when I started recording, so I don't know where all these yawns are coming from. But either people will be more likely to approach you, or you'll be more likely to approach other people because you've put away your phone, you've put away that distraction. So, be open to not have your phone out at all times at social events. The next tip that I have for you all, but before I move on, if you're exchanging social media, then you can take your phone out. Had to throw that in there. The next tip that I have for you all is not everybody is willing to make friends. So if you do approach somebody and ask them for their social media, or you approach somebody and try to strike up conversation, and they seem kind of standoffish, like they don't really want to talk to you, then you might want to, don't take it to heart, because you never know, that person could just be having a bad day and they don't want to make friends that day or something. But B, you need, to give them their space and don't take it to heart. Like I said, they could be having a bad day and just aren't in the mood to make any friends, or they could just be rude and don't want to be friends with you specifically. So just, if they seem like they don't want anything to do with you, let them be. Leave them alone. Don't take it to heart. Go find somebody else to strike up conversation with. The next thing, making friends is a lot easier than most people think it is. I've met some of my closest friends literally by saying you seem cool. Literally saying you seem cool. I want to be friends, or do you want to be friends? For some people it really is that easy. Now, personally, technically, the person I said that to, we aren't as close as we used to be, but we're still friends. So you never know what simply saying or asking, do you want to be friends with a person, could lead to lifelong friendships. So don't be scared to, say something. Literally, just say something. You never know who that you never know, that person might have wanted to be friends with you and they just didn't want to make that first move, like I mentioned earlier. So, speak up, speak your mind, as long as it's not rude, because then it's rude. But yeah, speak your mind. They might want to be friends with you too. The next thing is, always remember quality over quantity, and this is one of the most important things on this list of tips that I'm giving you all. Yes, it's cool to have a bunch of friends. Yes, it's cool to be Mr. or Mrs. Popular. But just because you have a lot of friends doesn't mean that all of those people are good friends to you. If you could walk around my old high school, you would see that. Please, please, please don't go out and chase a bunch of people that you want to be friends. It's better to have one or two people that you can rely on, that you know are good people, that are good friends to you, than to have 50 plus and not any, and none of them are really a good friend to you, that will leave you hanging when you need them the most. So please remember that quality over quantity. Every time, quality over quantity. That's all I have to say about that. And then the last tip that I have for you all is complimenting someone is also a really good way to start a conversation. To start a conversation that could lead to a friendship. I'm not one to. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna phrase that. I'm not one to say that if your hair is pretty, or your nails are pretty, or you get your makeup done and you're pretty, or if you're just pretty without, I'm not, or pretty without makeup, I'm not gonna sit here and not tell you. I'll tell you that you're pretty. Now, no, I'm usually not trying to lead to a conversation. I'm just letting you know, hey, you're pretty, because you never know, somebody may need to hear that. But complimenting somebody could lead to a conversation. It could lead to like a, hey, where'd you get your hair done? Where'd you get your nails done? Where'd you get your makeup done? Where'd you get your clothes from? That could be a big conversation starter, because then you found something that you both have in common, or it may not be just two people. It could be something that you all have in common, because plus more people. More people would not pertain to both. Anyway, y'all know what I'm trying to say. But complimenting someone is also a really, really good way to strike up conversation that could lead to a good friend. Yeah. But that's all that I have for you all this week. I'm sorry I sound so dead, but I don't know. Like I said, I was up and fine before I started recording this episode, and then I got really, really sleepy. So I promise I'll bring the excitement back next week. And oh, you guys also need to be on the lookout. I do have some really, really big announcements coming up within the next couple of weeks. So make sure you all are checking out my social media and my blog for information pertaining that. But that's all that I have for you this week. And I'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks for tuning in this week. If you have any questions about today's topics, want to share an inspiring story, or be featured in our monthly Q&As, send them to me at selfcarebgirl@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to head over to my blog at selfcareblackgirls.wordpress.com to see extra content, pictures, and links that were mentioned in the show. Spread the word. Subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes. It really helps. To help support this podcast, you can send a one-time or monthly donation to patreon.com/selfcareforblackgirls, and you'll receive a special gift. Thanks again for listening, and don't forget to stay beautiful.